As always, please retry this question before watching the video. A few things you need to know. If you don't know them, add into your cheat sheet, master them, and go back 5 before continuing the video. What should you not read when considering clause questions? The answer to that is comma sandwiches. Comma sandwiches can start with commas. They can also start with parentheses. They can start with M dashes. Whatever they start and end with, it doesn't really matter. We call them all comma sandwiches for simplicity's sake. When you see them in a clause question, do not read them. Probably in general, on most ACT questions, it is helpful to not read the clause question when considering the sentence because they're just putting them there to make them more complex. What is the WTD for clause questions? Consider the 3 things for each answer individually. We're trying to make this as easy as possible for you. Most of you are considering a bajillion things when you were looking at each of these wrong answers to eliminate wrong answers. However, 3 things, these very simple 3 things, well, we'll talk about those in a second. Those 3 things are the only 3 things that are going to eliminate 80% of the answers. So let's start training your brain to consider those 3 things first before considering other things. What are the 3 things? Punctuation in the middle of a clause, no independent clause in a sentence, and clauses separated improperly. Those are the 3 things. And if you don't know them, take the time now, get them down, master them before continuing in the video. Add them to your cheat sheet, drill them until you do, go back 5, and then continue in the video. So, we are going to take a look at the answers with these things in mind. Answer F. Transmitted over telegraph wire or radio wave via pulses of electric current. And we're not going to read the comma sandwich here. So we're just going to go straight from Morse code, the standard for rapid long distance communication, especially, we don't even read what comes after that. We know right there, there is no independent clause in this sentence. So transmitted is a dependent clause marker, okay? It is a participle. And even though it doesn't end in ing, you'll start to recognize ed ending words are often participles as well. And so, yeah, transmitted over telegraph wire, that's not an independent clause. If we remove the comma sandwich, it just says Morse code, the standard for rapid long distance communication. There is no verb here. So there is no independent clause in answer F. Therefore, we're going to be able to eliminate answer F just using the 3 things that could be wrong with a clause question. Answer G. Code, yeah. So we're going to have the exact same problem in answer G. The first part is a dependent clause. Morse code, the standard, is what it says if we don't read the comma sandwich in answer G. Therefore, there is no verb again in this answer. Therefore, we can eliminate it because there's no independent clause in the sentence in answer G. Now let's look at answer H. They added a verb before the comma sandwich here in answer H. And a lot of you aren't going to choose it because you're still reading the comma fanboys, and it's going to make it sound wrong when you do that. But let's read it without the comma fanboys. So we know the first part is a dependent clause. That's not going to change. Morse code was the standard for rapid long distance communication. Now this has a subject verb combo. This is a complete thought. It doesn't start with a dependent clause marker. It can stand alone in a sentence. All the things you can tell. Answer H now has an independent clause. And the clauses are separated properly. So that's not a way to eliminate. So H is almost certainly going to be our correct answer. But we're going to go ahead and just confirm that. We're always going to try each answer because we're looking to eliminate wrong answers, not looking for the correct answer. And answer J has the same problems as F and G. It just says Morse code, the standard for rapid long distance communication. There is no verb, therefore there is no subject verb combo, therefore there's definitely not an independent clause in answer J. So answer J is wrong because there's no independent clause in the sentence. That leaves us with answer H. If this made sense to you, add it to your worksheet, write out the explanation on the backside along with the answer. and then continue on to do the other clause 2 questions that you missed on this test. If this is your final clause 2 question you missed on this test, please go ahead and do the clause 2 mastery, getting 10 questions correct in a row, and then come back and start on the next category that you missed the most of.